In today's video, we're going to be talking about Marvel. Deadpool 3, The Marvels. A huge plot leak has come out, which has got a lot of validity and a lot of credibility because of where it was posted. Also, if you're new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, Kaiju, Monsterverse, DC, pop culture based content that I try to do on a daily basis. If you could subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know. Is Deadpool 3 really going to be better than Multiverse of Madness, but with crazier cameos that actually make, narratively speaking, sense? Also, The Marvels is looking much better. They had a bit of negativity from the test screening, which is good because that's the whole idea of a test screener. It's to see what a population size, like a populace, thinks of the movie and then make changes they need to. And it's not coming out till November, so things can be changed here and there. But obviously, due to the writer strike, they can't change that much. Also, if you could check us out on Instagram, at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Check us out on Twitter, WarstuG, because I've got like 10 followers over there. So this is cool. So the Marvel Studios spoiler subreddit is back. And this is how I know my source is so cool, because I was told this 2 weeks ago. This information doesn't actually come from my source, but the person who told me the Marvel Studios subreddit that got subpoenaed for Marvel Studios is going to be public again. And 2 weeks later, it's now public again. So it's always worth saying this. And I do find it hilarious when people go, oh yeah, everything from 4chan, everything from Reddit is fake. Every Marvel movie that's come out in the last few years and DC movies that have come out in the last few years turns out to be true. Ant-Man 3, Quantumania, Wakanda Forever, Thor Love and Thunder, the Superman casting. Literally, Reddit is the best source ever. And what makes me laugh is when people have so much trust in these Twitter scoopers when realistically they pull all the information from Reddit and then make out they don't. And then they debunk stuff that comes out on Reddit and then it turns out to be true. So do I really give any props or any validity to these Twitter scoopers? No, because it all comes from Reddit. It really does. So it's worth saying the information, it might be real, it might be fake. We don't know. But according to the post, it's a Deadpool 3 plot leak. The other plot leak we went over a few days ago, all the Twitter people seem to think that was real, but for some reason there's a major plot point in the post-credit scene for the Marvels that we're going to go over later in this video that can't be true. So the post reads like this. I cannot confirm if this is truly real or not, but my sources who gave me accurate info about No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, and more recently Quantumania, I will remain anonymous because I'm not sure whether this information could be true or not. Both outcomes have their own risks. Please take with a grain of salt. But what I find interesting is this was posted on the subreddit, so that's what you need to know. So yeah, let's just run it. If it's true, it's true. If it's not, it's not. 90% of the plot leaks we go over turn out to be true. So starts off like this. What Ryan Reynolds said about the Logan storyline will not be affected in Deadpool 3 is not true, and that will be announced at a later date. Obviously, there's no San Diego Comic-Con this year because the SAG actors industry, I believe it's called, they're still striking, and it's been extended because it's essentially to do with AI being used in movies. And I don't really agree with AI being used. It does take away from the craft and I guess you could say the creative thought and stuff like that. So the movie will start off with a montage of Deadpool using Cable's time traveling device to fix the timelines by fixing goofy Marvel events, as well as killing characters from failed Marvel movies such as Deadpool, The New Mutants, and so on. These will be brief cameos. Yeah, I bet you can't wait for the TikTokers to put all the cameo videos out and make stuff up like they did. Eventually, the montage will focus on how Deadpool decides to bring Wolverine back from the dead by interfering with the events of Logan. He will then be stopped by the TVA when once again going back in time just in case to see if he can further stop Wolverine from dying. Now, I don't know how I feel about this because anyone that's been a fan of the channel, or maybe not fan, actually, that's the wrong word. Anyone who's followed the channel would know Wolverine, the Logan movie, is my favorite movie ever. It's the greatest superhero movie ever. I don't care what anyone says. Nothing comes close to it. And if they do anything to ruin the Logan movie, I will give Deadpool 3 the harshest, most savage, most cynical review ever. Okay, cool. Instead of being prosecuted, he is taken by a TVA agent, think Loki. Obviously, Loki season 2 will be out by the time this comes out later this year, to find a way to fix the timeline that Deadpool created by killing the old version of himself. We know there's going to be multiple versions of Wolverine and Deadpool. So far, there is nothing too far-fetched in this plot information to make me think it's not real. He will then be explained that the timeline collided with a branch made by Tony Stark and Steve Rogers when going back in time to recover the Mind Stone. This alternate timeline will not reset. He will also reveal the reason he was making it to the alternate timeline was because his universe timeline had collided with them. An incursion, essentially. We know incursions are coming. They're coming. Remember what Cleo said in Doctor Strange 2. There's an incursion. There's an incursion. Come with me, Stephen Strange. And then we see what looked like the Dark Dimension. Because of this, resetting the timeline created by Deadpool is too risky because it could damage both main timelines since the branch link back to them. Before going on a mission, Agent Morbius will have a brief cameo where he will warn the TVA agent that it is not worth it and it's a brief joke. And we can confirm and verify this information. Why? Because Owen Wilson was recently seen in London. But what does that matter? What does it matter if he was seen in London? Well, he doesn't live in London, and to be honest, London's not the greatest place, so why would you randomly be seen in London? And there was still shooting, and information came out that he was going to reprise his role as Agent Mobius. I've said it wrong on purpose to make you comment down below. Cool. And also, this was on the plot information that leaked over a year ago that he would be making a brief cameo in the movie. So far, there is nothing in this plot information that I disbelieve. When visiting this universe, it will be revealed that Magneto from this universe, played by Ian McKellen, has successfully created the conversion machine, killing off many characters in this universe. Wanda Wilson will also be introduced, but will be part of the X-Men team that Magneto has assembled in this universe. He is viewed as a hero. The X-Men lineup in this universe will have both old, modern characters as well as a few new ones, and many of them will have comic book accurate suits that were not originally shown in the Fox universe. While exploring the universe, the civilians of this universe will take note that the two may not be mutants, which eventually will result with the two being caught by the X-Men of this universe. Magneto's intentions will then be shown to be due to the loss of Wanda and Pedro in this universe version of Age of Ultron, which he blames the Avengers for. Here is when there is a brief flashback cameos are shown. Now, this is true because we already know they're going to use a lot of stock footage and a lot of old footage from both the Fox universe and the Marvel Cinematic Universe in order to get more people in the movie in a roundabout way. He will also wield Thor's hammer, Mjolnir. I said it wrong to make you comment. Eventually, the two make a run for it, which will result with the TVA agent being killed for his traveling machine. Before dying, he will pass it on to Deadpool, where he will reveal that if any branches are made from this universe, it could possibly lead to a mass incursion. Cool. Doctor Strange 2, Incursions, 838, Incursions. This is a multiversal storyline. So far, there is nothing in this storyline that is far-fetched. We've heard rumors of Ian McKellen returning for such a long time. Deadpool will return to the Fox universe to seek help from his version of the X-Force, who will reject him due to how the timeline was completely changed. And he has brought a lot of problems. Deadpool will then visit Logan's bar as a last resort, where he will be introduced and still have his healing factor. Whilst explaining Deadpool being Deadpool, a bar fight sequence will break out, in which he will eventually get Logan to settle down and convince him. The two will settle that they need to make a new team. And it will be revealed that due to timeline changes, the Magneto played by Michael Fassbender is being held in an icebox. Okay, that bit just sounds a bit off. The two will visit to break him free to recruit where a prison escape scene will take place. He will agree to join them with the condition that he is freed after. Here it will be shown that Mystique from Magneto's universe has taken shape of the TVA agent and is now directly looking for Deadpool's universe to bring her universe X-Men to kill everyone. Insane. Kill everyone off. Now that she knows the TVA only option if the universe wasn't fixed was to exterminate hers as well. When having found the coordinates of this universe, she will hand it to Magneto, where the version of the X-Men will come. Mystique will be caught by Wolverine, but it'll be too late. In preparation for the fight, will be stopped once again by X-Force. Deadpool will finally apologize for his mistakes, as well as admitting he wants to join the X-Men to Colossus. They accept the apology, and everyone in X-Force, as well as Colossus and Supersonic Sonic Warhead, will join to face off against Magneto's X-Men. Supersonic Teenage Warhead even came the final act. In the final act, the Fox version of the X-Men will fight Magneto's X-Men, where Wolverine will come face-to-face with Sabretooth. Oh my god, that would be so freaking cool if that happens. Oh wait, the Sabretooth rumor's been going around for about 6 months. Cool story, bro. You see how all these rumors kind of coincide with each other? As well as Magneto versus Magneto, etc. All of the Magneto's X-Men will be killed off, except for Magneto himself, who will manage to kill Michael Fassbender's Magneto. Magneto will be killed off by Fire Fist. The movie will end with Deadpool visiting Vanessa for the first time after saving her. Okay, I always think it's wild when a post-credit scene is linked with a plot leak when the movie is still shooting, although there was some fake rumors going around that shooting had stopped already. I don't think they're going to shoot the whole Deadpool 3 in 6 weeks. Oh, but the writer's strike. Well, I'm pretty sure Wade Wilson himself, Ryan Reynolds, has been working on the script for this movie for years, right? It's not like last minute. Everyone goes on about improv. I don't think it's going to affect too much, and there will be reshoots at some point where after the writer's strike they can make changes here and there. So the post-credit scene will start off with Deadpool and Vanessa making love, which is interrupted by the TVA, which arrests him as well as the X-Men involved in the final act. It is then revealed Magneto got access to the traveling device. Deadpool got it from the TVA agent, which he used to destroy the timeline as much as possible before dying. Because of this, a lot of the multiverse is revealed to have collided, and if at any point the multiverse loses control, the whole multiverse could collide. Is this so far-fetched that I don't believe it? No. Do I believe a lot of it? Yes, to a certain degree. Is there some parts that aren't believable? Yes, to a certain degree. So let me know down below, guys, which part of this plot leak for Deadpool 3 do you not believe? So let's go over the next bit. Now, you take the next bit with an even bigger pinch of salt because it's coming from Twitter people, and you know how wrong they are. So it says this. Comments source provided from the recent 4chan leak for Deadpool 3, which is partially backed up by Can We Get Some Toast. To be fair, Can We Get Some Toast did have a really good track record till recently, and Alex Perez from the Cosmic Circus, right? I don't know Alex Perez at all, but one thing I do know is he's said a lot of stuff previously and it never came true. I can think of at least 3 instances. So whenever Alex Perez says something, take it with a pinch of salt until he said it. At least Can We Get Some Toast actually gets information right. The Flash new ending on the money, and Can We Get Some Toast, she doesn't miss very often. Once again, take what I said with a pinch of salt. It is not directly mentioned what Ryan Reynolds said about Logan's story not being affected is false. The plot leak contradicts many castings reported, actors coming back such as Josh Brolin for Cable, Beers for Domino, and even Sony for Karen. Beat, for example, nervously passed on the conversation topic of a return for Deadpool 3 in an interview. For the last movie in the Fox universe, it sure is rarely established there. The plot is more of a reaction of what the Multiverse of Madness should have been, and it's more of a cluster, Warstu, had that word out, of fan service, which has basically been every fake plot leak before. The plot milks the 838 universe, which realistically will probably never be mentioned again. The plot leak established Agent Paradox as one of the main characters of the movie, but it is strange that after less than 2 days of the news getting out, that a TVA agent called Paradox, played by Matthew McFarlane, will play a huge role in this movie. The full plot leak has all the information to the movie. Yeah, sure, it's questionable, lads, but it's a freaking plot leak. It's not going to be 100%. It's not that deep. It really ain't that deep. There is a lot of mention of Photon. Okay, this is obviously going on about Marvels. Monica Rambeau, which ends up in Incursion at this stage of the multiverse saga. It is too early to have Incursion for the sacred timeline. Not enough plot established for them yet. Note that there is still many MCU projects coming up, so why set it up now? I think your logic is really weak there, man. Most sources I've seen mention the return of Elizabeth Olsen. I'm not saying she's in the movie, but at the same point, it seems quite clear that she does not plan to return anytime soon. Although when asked in an interview, she basically said she would if they wanted her. I believe if she does return, she'll be used briefly during flashbacks. I doubt she will come back for a universe where she barely played a role in Multiverse of Madness. Also, note that all other character progression is lost in the plot. Okay, I agree with that. It is also strange that Deadpool leaves everything that has been established in his universe behind without any kind of contradiction. I also want to note that my source mentioned the TVA agent, other than Morbius, got out about the casting and the role of Matthew McFadden. The plot leak I posted is a mixture of what I've been told by my source. There is a high chance that the order in which this is set is wrong. I just put information I have slowly been given together to build this plot. I mean, realistically, nothing that either these two Twitter people say debunks anything. They just question stuff, which is cool. Like I say, plot leaks, we don't know if they're real, but they're interesting for sure. If their track records are anything to go by, lads and ladettes, I would say plot leaks are more right than they are wrong always. So now let's go over the interesting part, which has caused controversy on Twitter. The Marvels 2 plot leak. The comedy was reduced in the new version. Now it has thriller overtones. So the main criticism, we've done a video on the plot leak before, I'll leave it over top now. The main criticism was it was too kind of funny, too comedy, and the musical scenes were a bit over the top. So here it says, the musical scenes were replaced with action scenes, except the one of the planet Aladna. Which makes sense because that's narratively a musical planet where they communicate via talking, and you can see that in the trailer. The Nova Corps appears in the movie, and we are introduced to Nova. He helps the Marvels against some Kree ships. Goose will die trying to save Carol Danvers. Not Goose. We see that Carol Danvers is alone in the universe. She has no friends, no family, only allies. This after traveling the universe, saving lives. The scene is very sad. Carol decides to go to Earth for a while with Kamala to work with the Avengers. Now, this part here has caused a lot of the Twitter people that think they've got clout to be like, this ain't gonna happen. This ain't gonna happen. Well, I hate to tell you, lads and ladettes, Galactus is gonna have to show up at some point. Why would it not make sense for it to be in Captain Marvel 2, which is linked to the Scrolls, etc.? It would make the most sense for Galactus to either show up in a movie related to the cosmic side, which would have to be the Marvels or Captain Marvel 2, whichever you want to spin it, or Fantastic Four. But I don't think they're going to introduce Galactus. I think they're probably going to go down the Doctor Doom route. So it says this: Galactus appears in a flashback destroying planet Skrullos, former home of the Skrulls. This scene, Galactus still has no face. The CGI is finished, except for the re-recording scenes, which are 1/3 of the movie. Kamala steals the movie. When the two Bangles come together, they create an incursion, and a multiverse rift opens. From the rift appears Blue Marvel, played by Shamir Anderson. I'm not really down when it lists an actor's name because I think that gives it less validity and less credibility, but it's not far-fetched at all to me. Monica Rambeau ends up in another universe after closing the rift. Two post-credit scenes. First one, Kate Bishop and Cassie Lang recruit Miss Kamala Khan to form a new team. Okay, that's been floating around the internet, and for some reason these Twitter people that think they have clout all seem to think it's true. The next one does make a lot of sense, to be honest, because Kang the freaking Conqueror is the villain. Irrespective of what's going on with the court case with Jonathan Majors, they're not going to get rid of Kang the freaking Conqueror. So I'm interested for this part here. Kang the Conqueror, only Jonathan Majors' eyes are visible on the screen, observing two key objects. The 10 Rings from Shang-Chi, which I don't think is a good movie. I say it all the time because people love to say, yo, Shang-Chi's the greatest movie ever. Well, if you think that, lad, tell me down below. And the Bangles of Miss Marvel. Now, do you remember when Multiverse of Madness, before it came out, there were a lot of trailers where there was some, like a vortex that was spinning and people were like, oh my God, that looks like the Bangles that Shang-Chi and Miss Marvel have. I tell you, the 10 Rings and Miss Marvel's Bangles, they're going somewhere. So I really do believe this. So take everything with a pinch of salt. Cool story, bro. But I do think this could be true. And people going, oh, well, I wonder where this Galactus information is coming from. I've not heard anything. That doesn't make it less likable or less realistic. I think these Twitter scoopers seem to think they run the industry when realistically they just report on stuff they're told, whether it comes from 4chan or Reddit themselves. To be honest, I get told a lot of information I could drop on Twitter as well, but I don't because I'm not a scooper. But realistically, if I wanted to start scooping, I really could because I get told so much stuff that I don't say because I'm not a scooper. And there will never be. But when information is publicly out there in the public domain already, it's open season for the Warstu channel to go over it. So like I said, it might be true, might not be true, but it's very interesting. It's consistent to a certain degree with the original Deadpool 3 leak that we covered a few days ago. Minus the Wanda Maximoff stuff, is still pretty in line with everything else that's already out there about Deadpool 3. And the Marvels information we've gone over, that's really in line with the most recent test information that I personally have. And also, there is some information going around that Monica Rambeau is being set up to be the next Captain Marvel, because apparently she was going to be called Photon, but apparently they're pulling the Photon name now, apparently. And apparently she's going to be a version of Captain Marvel as well, which, I mean, I don't know if that's true, but it's interesting either way. They did recently drop some promo art for the Marvels. Now, realistically, I don't understand why they do this. And of course, the internet will troll it, you know, these woke YouTube channels, etc. will troll it. It's literally just a picture of Monica Rambeau, Kamala Khan, and Carol Danvers stood together, and it says, The Marvels in theaters, November 10th. Of course, Marvel are going to drop promo photos. I personally think it's pointless doing all this kind of stuff, but it is what it is. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at Warstu, check us out on Twitter at WarstuG. And before we do that, let us know, do you think Galactus is going to appear in the Marvels movie in a flashback scene? Do you think Kang the freaking Conqueror is going to be watching the 10 rings and Miss Marvel's bangles? I think that's definitely true. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Check us out on Twitter at WarstuG. And I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.